Hey everyone, this is Nate Theismann. I'm going to be walking you through the process for performing point-of-care ultrasound studies in the Parnassus and Mission Bay emergency departments. Step number one is to place an order in Epic, and this is done the same way that you would place any other order. You click on the Manage Orders tab, that'll bring up your quick list, and you go over here to the ED performed ultrasound order. Type in the indication, your supervising attending, and then hit sign. Important thing to remember here is that this process of ordering the study basically claims it as yours and gives you responsibility for ultimately performing it and putting in the interpretation. Step number two is to pull up the patient's information onto the machine using the modality worklist function. To do that, you'll click the patient key on the machine and then work list. That work list will wirelessly query the server for any outstanding orders and automatically bring them up onto the machine's screen. There's never a need to actually physically type in any patient information onto the machine itself. Step number three, you'll perform the study, saving video clips and still images as appropriate. Step number four, end exam. When you click the end exam button, those images that you just acquired will be sent wirelessly to both QPath and to PACS for permanent image archival. Next, it's time to actually put in your interpretation. So to do this, you're going to launch QPath. There's a couple of ways to do this. The easiest is within the patient's chart. You'll see this ultrasound activity along the left-hand column of your screen, and you simply click the hyperlink and log in. There's also a link on the CareLinks page if you prefer to do it that way. Once you log into QPath, you're going to see the following screen. And I want to draw your attention to these folders along the top row. These are basically your to-do list, your need to sign folders for residents, for NPs, PAs, and midwives, and for attendings. You should think of these as basically your source of truth for all of the stuff that you need to take care of in terms of your ultrasounds. When you open a study, you'll see a list of all the studies that are assigned to you, and these indicators here will tell you basically at what point the study is in its life cycle. I'll draw your attention to the two most important indicators. There's this one. If you hover over it, you see that means it's been signed by a resident, and here it's been signed by an attending. So these, for example, have yet to be signed by anyone and need to be taken care of. To open an individual study, you simply double-click, and this opens the images. You're going to choose the appropriate report template from the drop-down menu. Click through the boxes as appropriate to put in your findings and then sign at the bottom. When you close this back out and refresh the screen, that study will drop off your to-do list. If you're a resident, your signature will now send a preliminary result back to Epic, and then generates also a reminder for your attending to say, hey, now it's time to do your part and put in the attending signature. The attending signature then sends a final report to Epic and resolves any outstanding deficiencies in the in-basket. Meanwhile, back in the EMR, your study is available under the Imaging tab with the text of the report that you put into QPath. Now that has flown into the study result field here in the EMR, along with a link out to the PACS images. This is just like any other imaging study, so now you can refer back to the images in the future if you need to. So that's the nuts and bolts of the basic parts of the workflow. I want to show you two additional components of the system that I think will be very helpful. The first is how to reassign providers who are associated with the study. So imagine you're looking at this and thinking, oh, this wasn't actually my study, or oh, this was my study, but my name is not attached to it. To do that, you open the study and click this Edit button right here. That will bring up this exam information. Here's where you can modify the exam type as well. And then you can modify the exam providers, either by adding or clicking and then subtracting as you need. That process will also update your to-do list, your studies to sign folder accordingly. And then imagine you're looking at a study and thinking, oh, what was the other clinical information for this? I don't quite recall this case. To do that, you're going to use this little upside down arrow right here to open up this accessory window. You're going to click Details, and then you're going to click this MRN box, cut and paste that MRN back into Epic. And there you have it. Please feel free to email me with any questions or concerns, and thanks so much for listening.